So we are this morning going to be just taking it a little bit easier with our flow. I don't know about you, but I have probably not practiced as much yoga as I should have over the last couple of weeks between one thing and the other. So yeah, if there's any props that you need, then perhaps grab them now. By props, I mean grab a cushion if you want one, or a strap or a scarf or whatever it is that you think might just help you ease into the posture a little bit better. Ultimately, if there's something I'm doing and you simply just aren't getting on with it, then please just modify it or take an alternative. Or if you're a bit tired because you've already done your workout, take a Shavasana. So yeah, just it's your practice, it's your half an hour to chill. Okay, so we're going to start off as always with a bit of grounding, which is probably something we all need a little bit of downtime before we start our session. So heads at the top of the mat, feet at the bottom. We are taking Shavasana. So if you want to pop a little pillow under your head to make it more comfortable, if you want to take a bend through the knees and just drop the knees in together, then by all means, please do. So taking the hands away from the body, turning the palms up towards the ceiling, softening through the shoulders, softening through the jawline, and just starting to connect through the whole of the back of the body, taking some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. I want you to take those breaths nice and steady in through the nose and out through the nose. And as you take these breaths in, I want you to check in with how your whole body is feeling. So if you're carrying any tension through the shoulders, then just try and soften that area off. Try not to hold on to anything. So on the end of that out breath, make sure that you're really trying to soften through the jawline and the shoulders at the end of that out breath. Keeping the eyes gently closed, even if there's lots going on in the house around you. And just turning your attention to how your mind is. So if you've got a particularly busy mind, it's not about thinking of nothing. I always say it's just not holding on to one particular thought. So just letting those thoughts come and go. And if you feel you're getting stuck at any point with one thing that you need to do, just then try and force yourself to think of something different. Placing the hands over the belly with the fingertips touching. So you're just really softening through the elbows, keeping the shoulders nice and soft. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Let the shoulders relax. Draw the belly button in. Press that lower back into the mat. 2 more. Inhale, big breath. Balloon the belly out. Exhale. Softening through the shoulders. Drawing the belly button in. Pulling in the pelvic muscles and the abdominal muscles. 1 more breath in. And out. Good. And now just taking a bend through the knees. Take the hands away alongside, palms turned upwards towards the ceiling. I want you just to sway the knees from side to side, just opening up the side waist in this gentle twist. Good, really keeping that belly button drawn in nice and tight. And then when you're ready, just bringing now the left knee in towards the chest. You're going to extend that right leg away from you. Turn the toes up towards the ceiling, softening through the shoulders. Relaxing that jawline. Remember, you can keep this knee bent if you want to. You can use your strap or you can hold on to the back of the thigh. Nice steady breaths. Try and keep the tension from the jawline and the upper body. On your next in-breath, reaching behind the back of that left leg, pressing the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, turning the toes down towards the face. Or if there's a little bend through the back of the knee, it's just if your hamstrings are a bit tight, it's just your leg protecting that. So ease into it. You're going to bring that left knee back in towards the chest and then just take the inside edge of that left knee with the left hand. Right hand comes to the floor, just gently opening up that left inside thigh. So keeping this hand either on the floor, on the right hip, to try and remind you to keep it down. So you're just almost easing that inside thigh into a nice stretch. Keep the toes nice and active on the right foot as well. Now bringing that left knee through center again, you're going to take the right hand onto the outside edge of that left knee and just gently keep the left hand onto the floor alongside you. Gently guide that leg over and across the body. Now it doesn't matter so much if the left shoulder lifts, if that's what makes it more comfortable for you. The aim ultimately is to keep that left shoulder fixed down onto the floor. So just let the leg go where it needs to be. Don't force it down, just let it come over the body. Now gently bringing that left knee back in towards the chest and then bring that right knee in as well. Take a little rock from side to side. Lovely. Hold on to the right knee this time, left leg presses away. So the toes are nice and active, so you've got this length through the back of that left leg and you're drawing the belly button in, opening up the back of that right thigh, right leg. Lovely. When you're ready then, take a deep breath in and reaching behind that right leg. Toes turning down towards the face, shoulders nice and relaxed, pressing up through the heel. Again, this is, yoga is about balance. So it's about noticing how each side feels or comparing them really, so that we can focus on balancing them out. So if you notice that, for example, your right leg might be more tight than the left leg, then it's just about registering that so that we can work on it and work on that balance of the body and subsequently the mind. So when you're ready, bringing that right knee in towards the chest again, your right hand is coming onto the inside edge of that right knee. Left hand comes down alongside you or onto your hip, and then just gently allowing that right knee to drop out to the side. So you can just hold on to it, or you might just be, here, or you might want to just ease it out a little bit more. So you've got that little bit of gentle opening through the inside of that right thigh. Good. When you're ready, just gently bringing that right knee back in towards the chest, taking the left hand to the outside edge of that right thigh. Right knee, sorry, the right hand comes alongside, and then you're just gently guiding that across the body. Now don't worry if this shoulder lifts, but don't be uncomfortable. Let the gaze come alongside. But ultimately the right shoulder, if you can, should stay relatively flush to the mat. So don't force it down, don't force anything. Just let your body go where it feels comfortable. Even if it is Shavasana for the next 20 minutes. When you're ready then, bringing that right knee back in towards the chest, hugging the left knee in as well. Take a little rock from side to side. Good. And now we're just going to take a little rock and roll up. So you're catching hold of the backs of the legs, and you can either take a couple of the rock and roll, or you just come straight up into a seated position. So it's entirely up to you what you do with that. Good job. I hope everyone's okay. Yeah, lots of heads coming up from their mats, so that's all good. So keeping the shoulders nice and soft, sitting cross-legged if it's comfortable. Now remember that you can have your cushion. I'm just reminding you, I know a lot of you know this already, but it's just, you know, if we haven't done anything for quite a while and you're feeling quite tense and you feel the pressure through the lower back, it is quite nice to either put a block or a cushion just underneath. It takes that pressure off the back a little bit. So, taking a deep breath in, reaching the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, softening through the shoulders. Exhale, left hand comes round to the right knee. Take a little twist round to the right side. Good. Send the gaze either to the right or over your shoulder to the back of the room. Good. Inhale, bringing the hands up. Exhale, right hand comes to the left knee. Gently draw around to the opposite side. Really checking in with how you're feeling, how that body's feeling, how's the waist, you know, any areas of tightness. Good. Inhale, bringing the hands up and gently bringing them forwards to the floor and then creeping those fingertips away, as far away as is comfortable for you. Relaxing, softening the head, sending the gaze towards the floor. So just keep it there. Keep the breath nice and steady. That's it. Well done. Keep breathing in and out. Every time lengthening a little bit through the crown of the head. Easing the fingertips a little bit further forward. And then when you're ready, just slowly bringing the fingertips back up in towards the body. Take a deep breath in, reaching the arms all the way up again. Exhale, this time right hand comes down towards the floor, lifting and lengthening through the left side and reaching those fingers over. You're trying to get them in line with the ear, so you really kind of looking to bring it in line with the ear, rotate the body around. And when you're ready, windmill the arms around, left hand comes down to the mat, reaching up on that right side, and then coming over onto the other side. Lovely. So make sure that you don't hold your breath here, okay? And then gently bringing the hands alongside. Now just changing the way that you're seated, so you're crossing the legs the opposite way. You're now going to bring the hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers, or you can put them in the small of the back, or you might want to use a strap. It's entirely up to you, or scarf, or whatever it is you've got to hand. So draw the chest towards forward. Draw the shoulders back. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to come forward as far as is comfortable for you. So gaze is now to the floor. Spine is nice and long. Go as far as is comfortable. And if you want to start bringing those arms up and overhead, then you can do. So the shoulders might not be quite warm enough, or you might feel quite stiff through the front of the shoulders, in which case, just keep them in a position that's comfortable for you. So keep going, keep breathing. Well done. And then when you're ready, just slowly bringing the hands back into the lower part of the back and restack that spine. Good. Okay, so we're going to come over now onto all fours. So hands are under shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. You're going to take a deep breath in, and as you do, we're going to take a few rounds of cat and cow. So flicking the tailbone up, lengthening through the front of the body. As you exhale, drawing the belly button in, rounding off through the shoulders, gaze towards the thighs. You take this at your pace, but whatever you do, take it slow and steady. So it's really good for lumbar spine release. So if you suffer with back problems, lower back problems, this is a really, really great thing just to do daily that will help soften off and release that tension and those niggles. Good. And now you're going to just bring back into a neutral spine. So what we always need to be super careful of is flicking that tailbone out unnecessarily. So when we say neutral spine, which is where your back should be for most things, is that flat back. So it means just rather than flicking the tailbone up, which we tend to do a lot of, especially when we're stood, is tuck the tailbone underneath and flatten that spine. So from here now, I want you just to ease the bum back towards the heels and reach the hands forward, taking child's pose. So really easing the bum back, resting the forehead down, but trying your best to take the tension away from the shoulders. So as you're breathing in, you're thinking all the time about the length through the crown of the head. And as you're exhaling, you're easing that tailbone back a little bit further. Lovely job. Fabulous. Good, okay, so you're going to come up from child's pose now. We're going to tuck the tailbone underneath and we're going to come into downward facing dog. So tucking the tail, lifting the tailbone up nice and high. Now with your down dog, it really doesn't matter if the heels are touching. For those of you that maybe haven't done any yoga for a little while, you might feel this particularly down the backs of the legs. Your heels might feel like they're not quite touching like they normally do, but really don't worry about that. I want the emphasis here to be on pressing the fingertips down nice and firmly, the knuckles, the whole of the hand, lifting up through the tailbone, even if it means softening through the knees, hitching that tailbone up and drawing the chest towards the shins, okay? So really trying to draw the chest through and breathe, of course, all of these things. Now down dog is an inversion, so you might feel that this is a little bit too much, in which case just drop to your knees and then come back into it when you're ready. So I want you to pedal through in this down dog, so easing one heel down and then the other, really drawing that belly button in, making sure that you're breathing. Good, and then just come into your down dog position again to be still. Take a deep breath in here. You're going to come over into plank pose, dropping the knees just for the first round, and then slowly lowering through chaturanga. So this is where the elbows come alongside the body, okay? Land to the floor, and then on your inhale, you're going to come into baby cobra first, the elbows underneath the shoulders, hands nice and flat on the mat. Gaze is forward. It's as if you're pulling yourself forward of the mat. Good. Lengthening through the front of the body, softening off the bum. Good. Now, when you're ready, hands come underneath the shoulders. You're going to tuck the toes, keep the knees down, come back into downward facing dog. Good job. Okay. We're going to take that again. We'll take a deep breath in. Over into Kumbhakasana, plank pose. Now you can drop the knees, or your option is to lower down as one unit, entirely up to you. Now, baby cobra or supported cobra, elbows under shoulders for supported, gaze forward, spine nice and long, squeeze the bum. And when you're ready, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Good. Now inhale, lift that right leg, taking it up as high as possible, pressing that right foot away from you. And then when you're ready, right foot comes between the hands at the front, drop that back knee, untuck the toe. Sweep the hands up into that low lunge position. Good job. Lifting and lengthening, but keeping the shoulders nice and soft. Yeah, so don't have them up by your ears, just soften them off. But make it a definite reaching action. Take a deep breath in to lengthen. As you exhale, hands come through heart center, left elbow comes to the outside edge of that right knee into a twist. You want to make this a little bit harder this morning. You can tuck those left toes and lift off that knee, making sure that left leg, the back of the knee is nice and straight. Good. Keep the shoulder away from the ears, the spine is nice and long. When you're ready, drop the knee if you've lifted it, coming back up into that low lunge reach. Exhale, frame that front foot, step back, downward facing dog. Good job. Inhale, lift the left leg this time. As high as you can get it, but don't worry, still go within your kind of comfort, if you like. And then left foot comes between the hands at the front. Drop that back knee. Untuck the toes. Hands come up. Low lunge on your second side. Good. Softening through the shoulders, checking with the jawline, trying to take the tension away. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hands come through heart center. Right elbow comes to the outside edge of your left knee this time. Rotation through to the left side, gaze over the left shoulder. Try and keep the length between that left, between the spine, so you want the ear away from the shoulder. If you want to make it a little bit harder, pick up that right knee, keeping the back of that right knee nice and straight. When you're ready, drop the knee down, inhale, coming back up, low lunge. Good job. And when you're ready, framing that front foot again, step back, downward facing dog. Good. We're going to come over into plank pose, Kumbhakasana. Drop the knees, please, if you need to. And then slowly lower through Chaturanga, inhaling. Into Cobra, Supported Cobra, whichever you choose. And then tuck the toes back, downward facing dog. Drop the knees down to the mat. Take a child's pose. Rest out the shoulders. Relax the head. Take a few breaths. Good, well done. So really kind of checking in. Your body might be feeling a little bit warmer. Yeah, now we're starting to iron out any little wrinkles that are there. Good, when you're ready, coming back up into tabletop position. Tuck the toes, hitch the tailbone up. Take a deep breath in, right leg comes up, and then the right foot comes between the hands at the front. This time you're coming up into a high lunge, unless of course you prefer to keep the knee down. Take a deep breath in to lengthen. Exhale round, you're coming into warrior two. Okay, so that right knee, ankle, knee, hip is all in alignment. Left toes are pointing out. I'm just going to mirror you so I can see what you're doing. That's it. So arms in line with the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, turn that front hand up, reaching down that left leg, gazing slightly upwards into reverse warrior. Good, coming back into warrior two. Straightening up that front leg for me. You're going to reach all the way forward as far as you can go and then come over into Trikonasana. So this is triangle pose. So don't worry about this being completely straight. You can have some softness through it. But also the aim of the game here is to open this hip. So if I was to reach for the floor, for example, my hip would be closed. Whereas if I'm reaching up, yeah, so it might be that I'm just here, as long as my hip's open. Good. Now when you're ready, softening through that front knee back into warrior two. Good job. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. And when you're ready, then you're just going to lift up that heel and come forward, she says, and then back into downward facing dog. This time, inhale, lift the left leg. Left foot comes between the hands at the front. Up into that high lunge. Balance is all going up. High lunge on your second side. Take a deep breath in. And come round now into your warrior two on your other side. Yeah. So I'm going to take it this way because it might be a bit confusing for you. So ankle, knee, hip on that left leg, all in alignment. And then really coming up through now into that reverse warrior. So you're sliding that right hand down that sort of right leg. Keep the lunge coming through that front leg. Windmill the arms around. Good, you're going to straighten up that front leg. Reach all the way forward as far as you can go, and then come over into triangle pose. Again, your stance might not be as wide as mine. You might kind of be here, but keep this hip open. Don't reach down. So kind of it's like as if you're between two panes of glass. Yeah. When you're ready, take some softness through that front knee. Good. And now you're going to lift up that back heel and you're going to come back into your downward facing dog. Slowly coming over into plank pose. Drop the knees if you need to. Lower through chaturanga. Inhaling into cobra. And then back into downward facing dog. Drop the knees down towards the mat, ease the bum back onto the heels. Child's pose, rest the head down. So just take a little child's pose here. Check in with your body, with your hips. Softening off the shoulders. Good. And then when you're ready, just slowly coming up into a tabletop. You're going to cross at the ankles now, or just work your way around the mat onto your bum. But ultimately, you want to try and find your way onto your bottoms. And we're just going to take Dandasana before we finish off, just closing the hips a little bit. So turning the toes up towards the face, your hands are just underneath the shoulders, your chest is drawn forward, shoulders are back, length through the spine. Take a deep breath in. So as you exhale, drawing the belly button in, turning the toes up towards the face, trying to keep the legs together, length through the spine. So imagine it's if you're pushing the chest forward. So you've got that flat back again. And when you're ready, just softening off through the fronts of the legs. I'm going to take a little bend through the knees. Hands are coming behind you, so they're staying kind of underneath the shoulders, if you like. Knees are fixed together. And then when you're ready, if you want to, your option is either to draw the chest back or to press up and through into a reverse tabletop. So keep the knees drawing towards the bottom of the mat. Squeeze the bum, so it might want to just be low. Squeeze it up. And then when you're ready, just slowly lowering the bum down towards the mat. And we're going to just take a very, very slow roll down towards the mat, back into our Shavasana. This is amazing how quickly half an hour goes. So really turning the tailbone in, controlling that down. Good job. You're going to take the hands away from the body, give your hips a little wiggle, soften through the shoulders and the upper body, soften through the face, and start taking some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose again. To slow the heart rate, to slow the body back down again. Softening the jaw, softening the face. Just notice how you're feeling. taking a wiggle of the toes, wiggle of the fingers, move the head from one side to the other. Take a deep breath in, reaching the arms up and then overhead, bringing the feet together, nice long stretch. And then take a bend through the knees. And hug the knees in towards the chest. Take a little rock from side to side. And then find your way into a seated position. Lovely. Take a deep breath in, reaching the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. And namaste. Happy Wednesday. Feels strange saying on a Wednesday. But well done. Thank you so much. Hope you're all okay. Just bear with me a second.